Oops. Yeah, I do it again. Yeah. Seems to be something missing here. Yeah, like a couple things. We was getting ready to put this thing through its cleaning process and pull the cap off of that doggone thing. Got it over there ready to go to be cleaned up and scuffed up and primed up and finished up. And yep, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, we managed getting these things off of there because I had to. Because there was just no way. I mean, you can't even tell those are screws. So, and there's just no way to get that cleared out of there without. See, that one there is almost as bad, but it's bad. And to my way of thinking, it gets that much dirt and dust in there and everything, it's not going to adjust right, and it's not going to be good. Yeah, you probably put some kind of spray in there, but I don't know it. So I'm going to have to, I decided to go ahead and pull these off the chassis and extract them from the cans. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rewire those, because you can see they use all different kinds of wires on these things. I don't understand the reasoning behind that. I mean, there's a yellow. There's a yellow on the thing of this one. There's a red. Well, that one there makes sense. Over here it's red also, and it's yellow there. I mean, they kept pretty much the same thing, but you can't make out which is what, which is primary, which is secondary. So I'm going to put it to my usual standard: blue, red, green, black. There's only 4 wires on well, there's 4 wires on each of the cans, so I have to make sure that I get the right one on the right spot at the right time on the right day. So hang in there, and we'll be back for more. All right, moving on. We got the lamps removed from the wires. I elected to go ahead and try to salvage those wires, so I just disconnected the ends to where the lamp holders are, and pulled the wire down through the holes here. So that is taken care of. Got the volume control out, cleaned up and lubed up and everything. So that is done. Managed to get the tuner and push button assembly cleaned up. These push buttons, you can get them apart. In my last video of the previous one that I did for this, I had to remove this bracket here, and all of these things here come off, but you play hell trying to put them all back together again. So you try to get them cleaned up as best as possible. Hopefully it's not as bad, because it's way at the bottom, so all the dust is going to hit everything up here first. So we got the tuner cleaned up, and the push buttons all cleaned up. We got the tuner mount and trimmer rail cleaned up as best as we could. The linkages, the saw blade of the thing, the tuner shafts, and this is part of the push button subassembly that actuates the lever for the manual tuning, so that you can use the push buttons. So we got that all cleaned up. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, when we pull this, let me grab a seat here. I noticed this thing here was sprung out right there, and I seen this laying in the bag whenever I bagged everything up. This was laying in the bottom of the radio, I think it was, when I pulled the chassis out originally. And I thought, you know, that looks familiar. It looks like something off of the tone control or the boost assembly. Sure enough, see if I can get some light on that. This one and this one is still in here. This one here would have fell out just like that one did, had it not got caught and tangled up with everything else in there. So we're going to have to pull this thing apart, clean it up as best we can, and put it back together again. If you look at my previous one, the 7039_2, you'll see where I took this apart. I believe I made a video of that, or a segment concerning it, when I took it apart and after I put it back together. These parts here are going to be, well, except maybe with the exception of the resistor, that there, I believe we might keep that. These two here are going to get changed out, but they're going to be substituted so I can get more push on the boost for both the bass and the treble, the high and low. So anyway, that is going to be what we're going to do along with this today. Hopefully we'll get it done, and then we'll get this here prepped for cleanup. So stay tuned, and we will have more. Alright, moving on. Today is Wednesday, the 24th of April, 2024. We got these extracted from the cans. And look at those beauties. Now, there's just no way to get in there to get this cleaned out. You gotta extract them in order to get them buffed up and everything. All I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these brass brushes on it and just get some of the lightly, very lightly, because you don't want to damage the mica that may be exposed on there. So you just give them a little bit of rub-a-dub-dub, and there you go. Otherwise you probably get this stuff down in there in between the plates and stuff, especially if the plates are loose, and you won't get a good IF adjustment on the thing. It'll just be crappy if it doesn't change the characteristics of of the trimmer. So, and there we go with that. So now we're ready to replace wires on here. Now these were long enough that I could hook them back up, but like I say, I mean, look at that. They're different wires for different things, you know. No consistency there, so I'm going to make it consistent. Blue and red on the primary, green and black on the secondary, on both of these. I'm surprised they didn't put a bunch of other crap inside this one. This is second IF. Be careful with these, because if you don't label them and everything and you just pull them off, and I don't know if they're going to be the same thing. There's no values written on the schematic for these, and I don't know if they are the same. As a matter of fact, we're going to have what Dave Tipton would call an adventure, and we're going to check these out and see whether or not they are the same. Let me turn my little beeper on. Okay. Primary. Now this is supposed to be the first IF. Moving on to here. I want to be careful with those little fine hair wires. Hair Jones. 24.4 ohms. 24.4 ohms. Let me write that down for my posterior. Now this is on the primary of the first one. 24.4. Now let's go to the other side. There and there. 24.4 ohms. 24.4 ohms. Okay. First IF done. Secondary, primary. $19 ohms. 19.0. Let's go to the other side. $19.6 ohms. So there are different. So just keep that in mind, and document everything. Don't just video it and take pictures. Document everything if you want. It helps me a lot, because if you document it and sketch it or write it down or do whatever, it's one less memory you have to draw on. So, and with my memories, you know, they're dysfunctional sometimes. So anyway, let me go ahead and get these changed out, and we will have some other stuff. All right, it's getting to evening time. It's time for my grub. I haven't eaten all day, man. I've just been working fool. I got the cans back together, first and second IF. This one here is the first IF and the second IF. Got it all buffed up and everything. We'll clear it when we get it back on that, and this is ready to go. Got the new wires put on it with a little extra to Santa Claus so I can make the connections. So that's those are ready to go whenever the chassis is ready to go. Now, this boost control and phono radio button switches, push button. Here's my little sketch from a year ago when I did number 2 in the series. 10, 28, and 26 are all caps. The 28 is a 004. This one here was recorded as a 15, and this one over here was recorded as a 02. I think it was 02. 26, 26, 26, 26. Where are you, little life forms? 02. Yeah. The resistor is the only thing that wasn't changed out, and that 22K. This one here is the same value as what's on the schematic. This one here, instead of a 15 peak, it's a 151 peak. This one over here, instead of an 02, this is now a 0068 or a 6800 pico. So, and there's a reason for that. If you watched my number 2 in this series, when I did the in-progress videos on this, you'll see why I changed these values right here. So it pumps up the volume whenever you boost it. Before, you could hardly tell the difference. It did boost it to a degree, but not like these values do. So hopefully it don't blow up, but I haven't heard anybody complain about the other one yet. So this is ready to go back in whenever the chassis is ready. All I need to do is connect up the wires to the points that need connection on it. So there's that. What else did we do? Did we do anything else? Yeah, we did a lot of walking around. I went and bought me some more peppers. A pepper plant, I should say. So that I can get back into my peppers thing. I haven't touched peppers now for about 2.5 months. Because every time that I would do the pepper for my food, I would bleed in my urine. So that's what prompted me, even since November of last year, when it first began, and I ate. The only thing I could link it to was a pepper, and so I quit the peppers, and then it quit bleeding, and then I do the pepper again. This time it was black pepper, and then it go to bleeding, and finally I hooked up with my PCP, and they said you need to see a urologist, and that's when I found out I had bladder cancer, and he proved it to me with a scope. So I'm coming up on my next surgery date, which is next week, next Wednesday, 11 o'clock a.m. going back to the table, and they're gonna do whatever they need to do. Again, hopefully they're not gonna do too much, but I'm gonna have a dang doggone bag and catheter again for about 10 days or so. And believe me, I'm still recovering from the last catheter. Man, I tell you, and that smarts. So, okay, let me get out of here. I'll go make me some dinner. We're going to close up shop here, close the doors, turn the lights off. The party's over. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next turnaround. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And fire shit. We're out of here.